Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, hi, my name is Busari Moliayo. I am a Nigerian registered nurse who has just recently relocated to Scotland, United Kingdom. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I was able to pass my IELTS exam in one sitting with a total score of band 8. So if you're interested in that video, sit back, watch this video to the very end because I'm going to be spilling all the tea. Alright, so starting with a brief introduction of what the IELTS exam actually is. IELTS is an acronym for International English Language Testing System, and it is a standardized test of English language for non-native speakers. It means that your first language is not English. That's just it. So if you are from a country where your first language is not English, just know that you would most likely have to take the IELTS exam if you're trying to relocate. And the exam is jointly managed by the British Council, IDP, IELTS Australia, and Cambridge Assessment English. So these are the people that actually manage the exam. And there are two types actually. There's the academic IELTS and the general IELTS. So depending on your route of migration or why you're migrating or what you're going there to do, that will determine the type of IELTS exam that you will be taking. There are some variations in these two types, so please be sure, because if you're supposed to take a general and you take an academic, they might not accept that. You get my point? And if you're supposed to take an academic IELTS and you take the general one, you might have issues. So the exam is actually divided into 4 sections. Each of the exams, regardless of the one you're taking, they're going to test your English proficiency in 4 sections or 4 skills, which is the listening, the reading, the writing, and the speaking. So they want to know if you can hear well, you can write well, you can speak well, and you can also read well. That is just what they're going to test. So the exams are graded in bands from 0 to 9. So this is 0 and the highest is 9. So the way the exam is graded, you're going to be graded by each section. The listening, the speaking, like you have a band score for each of these sections, then they'll have an overall band score. Now, depending on what you're applying for, there is always a required band score. It is safest or it is safer to have a very high score so that regardless of what the requirement is for the reasons you're applying, you are not bothered. So sometimes if you're probably applying for a job, like for me, I was applying for a job as a registered nurse, and the requirement was for me to have 7 in every section, aside the writing where I was expected to have 6.5. So that was the band score required. So depending on what you're applying for, please ensure you know the required band score. So what are the 3 major things that I feel that I did when I was preparing for my IELTS that probably helped me to pass? Reaching out to people who have gone through that part, who have written the exams, or in one way or the other, they organize tutorials for people who want to write the exam, which is going to bring me to talk about the IELTS Coaching Center, who are the sponsors of today's video. They are a Nigerian brand, and what they do is they train people who want to take IELTS exam to help them pass, most likely in their first sitting. So I'm going to leave a link to their group in the comment section, the description box below, and also the comment section, whichever one you find first. So once you join their group, you start getting information, tips about how to take your IELTS exam for free. Isn't that nice? So you don't have to pay to join their group. So they are going to be sending you classes, tips, sometimes on their Telegram page, sometimes on their WhatsApp group, twice in a week. They will send you things to read, things to go through, and you can choose to upgrade your class with them if you want to have like personal one-on-one tutorials with the coaches. You can now decide to upgrade your plan. But once you join the group, you're getting information about your IELTS exam for free. Okay, so I'm going to leave their link in the description. So another thing that I did was to practice. I did a whole lot of practice. I would call my friends, I'll give them the speaking questions, tell them to ask me, and I would also and I will begin to answer the speaking. Then for the reading, I will take passages, practice, practice, practice. And whenever I'm practicing, I time myself. Time yourself, please. And you can either do a paper-based exam or a computer-based exam. For me, I did a paper-based exam and I had my results coming out, I think about 2 weeks after I wrote the exam. So I had my speaking on a different day while my reading, writing, and listening were done on a different day. For the listening, we had to use headphones, and concentration is one thing that is very important when you're listening. You have to concentrate on what you're listening on, because once your mind drifts away from the exam during listening, you're going to miss the answers. So I would really recommend that when you're practicing, you practice with your earphones and try to listen just once. Try to test yourself again and again and again and again and again. I got some applications online that I got sample audios and all from, which helped me to practice for the listening. For the speaking, like I said, I had my friends listening to me, people who have done the exam, coaches listening to what I was saying, and they were. And please, when you're practicing for your IELTS, be open to corrections. Please be open to corrections. You are not an island of knowledge. Ensure that your grammar is well articulated, and you should learn how to use high level words. IELTS is not expecting you to come and say, I go, I come, I pick, I drop. They want to hear what you can say. They want to see you using high level words. You don't have to change your accents. No, you don't have to twist your voice. What they want to hear are the words, how correct they are, how articulated they are, and how you are able to use higher level words. They don't want that regular primary school, elementary school sentence of I am going there. Say something like I'll be there shortly, I'll be there in a few minutes. I'm not saying you should go and say things that you don't know the meaning. Please. I'm not like advising that you say things that you don't know the meaning. Ensure you're using words that you know their meaning. And while practicing for your speaking as well, you can try as much as possible while you're preparing for exam to speak English strictly, so that you can easily translate or transform the words that you would have said in your native language to the appropriate English words in your regular conversations or your normal day-to-day conversations with your friends. That way, if you're trying to communicate with your examiner, you are not umming and eyeing and looking for the words to speak. If you're preparing for your exams, please speak English. It is not about the accent, it's about your command of English. All right. Then for the writing, please practice. Your tutors are going to give you the formats, and you can also ask those who have written the exams. You are supposed to be able to arrange what you are saying in like a chronological order or in like a sensible way. There should be like an introduction, the middle, the conclusion. The introduction, the body, and the conclusion. You don't just write, you don't make the last thing the first. Like, it has to be well aligned, well articulated, and well arranged. Same, and the writing is task one and task two. There's tax one for writing, there's also tax two. So know the word limit for each of the writing tasks. For tax one, the word limit is lesser than the word limit for tax two. And they'll give you the papers there. While you're preparing, if possible, get photocopies of the IELTS exam paper. That's if you're taking the paper-based exam. Get photocopies of these papers and try to use them to practice so that you can know what your handwriting looks on, and count your words. Count your words to be sure that you're right. So that when you get to the big exam, you know that, okay, if I've written up to this amount of the page with my handwriting, then I've gotten to this so amount of words. So count the first number of words on the first line, then multiply it by the number of lines you have used. That will give you an estimate of the amount of words that you have written. So please practice, practice, and practice. For your reading, please practice. For me, I go through the question first before I go back to the passage. So I'm more like hunting for answers, not just read. Like, I don't read the passage and start going back to the questions, then going back again to find the answers, because everything is within a short time. It doesn't work for everybody, but the hunting for answers strategy worked for me. So what I do is I read the first question, go to the first paragraph, and most of the times the answers, they are arranged in paragraph. The questions, like question one, you might most likely find the answer of question one in paragraph one, question two in paragraph two. But you need to be someone that can scan through things very, very fast if you want to use this method. And like I said, practice, practice, and practice. So those are the things that I felt that I did that helped me to pass my exams, reaching out to people, being open to corrections, practicing as many times as I can. Then when I was preparing for my exams, I was strictly speaking English to people. In fact, people around me already knew that this girl was preparing for IELTS because that was what I was speaking strictly English, no Yoruba, no pidgin. So that whatever I wanted to say in Yoruba, I had to sit and think and translate it and find. So each time I want to say something and I cannot think of an English word, I'm thinking of a word in my mother tongue or in pidgin. I pick up my phone and browse for a word that means what I want to say, and I add that to my vocabulary. So my vocabulary was on point when I was preparing for the exams. The tutors and my friends who have gone through the exam gave me tips on how to write. So it's more of your English proficiency and understanding the exam format, and you bring both together to become successful in the exam. So that is my personal experience. Don't forget to join the IELTS coaching center if you want to get personal training on your IELTS exam, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.